Hello, my name's Oscar from Emotion Systems, and today we're going to be taking a look at F, and specifically, this will be a brief overview of all the main settings you'll see on this UI window. I'll be going through the watch folder settings in a different video, so I'll link that in the top right-hand corner now. F is an ideal tool for small independent content producers who need to have creative freedom and time, but also need to have that final loudness quality control with the content they make. So F is a loudness tool, and it comes in two variants. You have F measure, which allows you to measure loudness parameters so you'd be able to see your content's true peak level, its program loudness level, and so on. Or you can have F comply, which not only does all the measurement, but can also correct your content to conform with the loudness profile selected. If you're sending content to a specific region, it's highly likely that we have that region's loudness specification already within our bank of pre-made profiles. So you can quickly look at this by selecting from the drop-down menu here, and you'll see all these pre-configured profiles that we've already made. If you still can't see the loudness profile you're after, that's not to worry, because we can just go on the settings button over here and start making our own new profile. So as you can see, the last profile that you've configured will come up. So this is my new R128 profile. I'm going to go to the Add New button. We're going to start from scratch. So we'll do a new profile for ATSC A85. So now that we've got this new name, we can start configuring the settings and the things we want to correct. We always say that a good starting point now is to change to the EBU R128 mode, purely because this is the most configurable. So as you just saw there, I've changed from BS1774 to EBU R128, and now suddenly the short-term and momentary loudness settings are available to change. This isn't necessarily important for me, but it is important if you suddenly have a specification which requires you to look at the momentary loudness value, even if it's to measure it or if it's to correct it. You can see that we've got Dolby's dialogue intelligence algorithm embedded within this. So because this is ATSC 85, this will be important to us. We can also enable the PPM settings, loudness range values. So there's a lot of things that you can measure and correct to. For the sake of ease, I'm just going to jump to ATSC 85 and use the pre-configured settings. So this pretty much covers the profile editor area of F. The next tab that you'll see within these three tabs is the corrections tab. Again, if you have F measure, you'll be seeing something different now. You'll be seeing the start time and duration tab. By enabling start time and duration, you're able to specify when you would like to start your loudness measurement or correction, if in my case, if I deemed the start time and duration to be necessary. But for a measurement, you can start measuring from 10 minutes, and let's say you want to measure again for another 10 minutes. So we could input those there in seconds or in time code. For me, I'm just going to leave this on detect and ignore tone, which is really important because what we do by enabling this setting is we ignore that lineup tone. And that's really going to throw off your results for your program loudness and your true peak if you include it, especially if your content is of a short duration. So really important setting to have ticked. As you can see with the correction settings, we have correct program loudness and correct true peak on. So we'll leave that. That's what we want to correct. But again, if you just have F measure, you won't be seeing these things. You'll just be seeing these top two boxes here. The final tab within this settings is the channel layout tab. So we see another three tabs load up underneath, 1 to 8 channels, 8+ channels, and the advanced section. So I'll quickly go through all of them. Within this setting, we have all the different channel layout variants that could come up within your file structure. So for instance, with 8 channels here, which is the sort of file I'm going to use for this demonstration, we can select if we want, if the layout's going to be 5.1, then stereo, or alternatively stereo, then 5.1. They're very common, both of them. Or another common one, 4 stereo pairs. if we click on this, we can specify what stereos within our file we want to loudness correct. So I might not want to correct or measure stereo 3 because it's a music and effects channel. So that's easy. We can just turn that off. So you can see there's a lot of scope for allowing you to do exactly what you need to do in order to process your file. For me, I've got the 5.1 in stereo file, so I'm going to leave these untouched. If we go to the 8+ channels, we've got the exact same looking thing, but all the way up to 16 channels. And you can see within here, we have a variety of surround formats we offer loudness correction for. So 9.1.6, 9.1.4, 7.1.6, and so on. So there's a bunch of different settings and surround formats that you can activate here. And in the advanced section, this is really duplicating one channel on your stereo. That's essentially what this allows. So let's say we want to just use the right channel in our stereo pair. We can duplicate the right channel, and now our stereo pair will be made up. It will be a dual mono file, essentially. We can select exactly what stereo pair we'd like this change to occur. So I could say, let's apply this to stereo pair 3. But this isn't going to be relevant for me. I'm just going to leave it as the 1 to 8 setting, 5.1 in stereo. So now that we're happy with our new profile, we can click Save Settings. And you can see my new profile has been automatically selected in the profile editor. However, we will need to select it over here on the left-hand side. This is going to dictate what loudness profile we process our file with. So I'm going to select the one I've just made. And then the next section is selecting your source file. So I'm going to just pick out my 5.1 in stereo file from here. And you can see F is already analyzing the file, and it will come up with the graphs to show if you're within your loudness tolerance. If we did need to correct the file, it turns out we don't need to correct this one, but I'm going to correct it anyway for the sake of demonstration, and we can just correct it now by hitting this button here. Just going to overwrite a previous one, and we'll save the profile. You can also see I've selected to generate some reports. So alongside having these really helpful graphs in F, I'll have the Emotion Systems PDF reports and XMLs. This is really useful if you need to send the loudness information to a customer or a client, or you need to return a file back to a production studio, and you can say, look, you're exactly 0.4 out of tolerance. We can't broadcast this. So yeah, really helpful to have the reports activated as well. This pretty much covers loudness correction in F, and like I said earlier in the video, there is another video on watch folders in F, and you can access that by clicking here. I hope this has been helpful, and thank you very much for watching.